Michelle Smallman, David Dennis Jr. in for Chris Canty today. Evan Cohen with you. A reminder, college basketball home stretch selection Sunday this Sunday. Tune in for the ACC tournament quarterfinals. Coverage begins at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Okay, so we all by now should be caught up. If not, I'll catch up. That the Ravens and Raiders had agreed to a deal. 2 first-rounders going from the Ravens to the Raiders for defensive end Maxx Crosby. That deal falls through. We speculate whether or not, yesterday on the show, whether or not it's medical or circumstantial as to the reason it fell through. Well, as soon as we learn it really fell through, Trey Hendrickson signs a 4-year, $112 million contract per Adam Schefter with the Baltimore Ravens to, in essence, replace a guy that was never on the team. And Maxx Crosby is a defensive end. He stays in division. Well, the Ravens yesterday put out there their general manager, Eric DeCosta, to meet with the media, and kudos to them for doing that.
I agree.
They didn't have to do that. Maybe they shouldn't have done that, but kudos to them for doing that. And DeCosta, described how upset he was by the way in which this went down.
We've got a responsibility. I've got a responsibility to the Ravens, to this community, to our fans, and to Steve Bisciotti to do what we think is best for the club. And that's what we always try to do. Every decision we make is based on this idea, is this the best thing for the Ravens? It's very, very challenging. Again, I understand how people might, maybe from afar, would feel that way. But nobody's more upset about this than me. Gutted by it, actually. And so a big regret for me. But we will move on as a football team, and I think there's many, many opportunities for us to grow as a team, to become a better team, to build a roster, and to be the team that we want to be.
All right, there's going to be a lot more from him. Let's start there. Smalls, he's gutted by this. Mm-hmm. Gutted by what exactly? That's
the question. And I, just like you, very much appreciate Eric DeCosta standing there in front of the media and fielding those questions, because he didn't have to do that. He could have easily put out a statement and avoided the firing squad that was going to grill him about this scenario, which a lot of people, quite frankly, felt was shady.
Yeah, or he could say, I'm not going to speak about players that are not on our team.
Well, either way, he could have dodged it, and he did not. So I appreciate him actually answering the questions. However, what are you gutted by? Are you gutted by the fact that you don't have Maxx Crosby? Are you gutted by the fact that it went down in this way? Because it actually seems to me like the Ravens came out on top. Yeah, it was messy along the way, but you end up adding an impact player at a position of need in Trey Hendrickson, and you hang on to 2 first-round picks, incredibly critical draft capital that's going to help shape your team moving forward. That's going to impact you not only this season, but in seasons moving forward. So it seems like the Ravens came out on top. And even though around the league, everyone's giving them the side eye, I don't know exactly what he's gutted about, because it didn't really impact him or this team in the way that a lot of people think that it should have.
David, what is he gutted about, if anything?
I think what he's gutted by the fact that he has to say this in front of a microphone in front of people. I think that's probably what has gutted him the most. I think this is a situation where they probably preferred Maxx Crosby. It fell through. They got Hendrickson. They get to keep their picks, and they're fine with it, even though their preference was probably a younger, maybe better guy that they could be a little bit more reliant on in Crosby. But I think it's a situation where you are trying to protest too much that it comes off as disingenuous. When you say things like, I'm gutted by this, when everybody can kind of look at it and say there's no reason to actually be gutted by it, I think he was trying too hard to be genuine about what happened, and it comes off looking more sort of phony than you kind of want. I think he probably would have wanted to take that word back.
Okay, so fair. But let's just play out. We give him the benefit of the doubt that this really did impact him, because maybe he did everything right. Just let's play this out for a second. He fails a physical, and the thing he's gutted about maybe is the idea that everybody around the league now, all fans, media, they all kind of think I'm not a man of my word, a person of my word, because that hurts when somebody believes that, right? I'm gutted by it. Okay, fine. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Here's where it gets tricky. So Eric DeCosta, the Baltimore Ravens general manager, then gave us a little insight yesterday into his big plan of pairing Maxx Crosby and Trey Hendrickson.
So we started some discussions with he and his agent, thinking that, potentially we'd have 2 pass rushers on the defensive line on both sides of the line. Again, I think it was disappointing, to us, and probably in a way, potentially disappointing probably to Trey as well.
Wait, so Trey Hendrickson, the guy who was willing to hold out last year, wanted a long-term deal, wanted $100+ million. Was he willing to take now $10 an hour? What? How would you have paired both of them financially? Can someone help me on this? What do you mean you were going to pair both of them? Sure, maybe technically that was his hope, to pair both of them. That's no doubt. My quarterback depth chart, I hope, is Mahomes 1, Allen 2, and Jackson 3.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I hope. I don't know that they're going to accept those roles. I could be wrong, but I don't know that they would accept those roles.
It would be ideal, though, no?
Yeah, that would be nice. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson as my backups to Patrick Mahomes. Sounds good to me.
Use them in various packages?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, you're on my practice squad. We're good. My practice squad. Maybe he's a starter for you. But anyway, I look at this and I say, even if you want to give him the benefit of the doubt on the first one, this one is the fishy one. What?
You're not buying it?
This one is the one that it falls apart here. It falls apart, this idea that this was the grand plan, and whoopsie, we don't get Maxx Crosby. We got to stick with it. Like that does not. It doesn't work that way. And this is where the interview this is where the press conference should have stopped. I know the people, all the Ravens folks, as he was saying this, I'm sure wish they could just run there and cut the mics off.
Smalls, was there ever a chance?
No, I don't believe so. I don't know how it would have worked. And I understand that he's trying to smooth things out. I understand that he's trying to walk this back and make it look less suspect, because think about what happened yesterday before he spoke. There was not only people like us who were examining the situation, it was all over social media. Everyone saying what the Ravens did was shady. Where we were saying, oh, maybe they realized that they overcommitted. They got cold feet with Maxx Crosby, so they used this loophole with the physical to get out of the deal because Trey Hendrickson was available.
For nothing.
It was essentially leaving somebody at the altar because you got another backup plan. And you're like, I don't want to commit. I got somebody else that will hang out. And that's what it looks like on the surface. So I understand him trying to explain this to us, but I think maybe he went just a little too far.
Yeah, you know what? After we play the second one, the first one becomes more believable, actually, to me. Now, the gutted one becomes more believable because maybe he's sitting there saying, the only way I could have pulled this off is the way I pulled it off, because I needed to kind of tell Trey Hendrickson, hey, you're not going to come here. Like, you want to come here, this is the deal. That's like, you're not going to be able to do this. I have to pull this move. I'm not saying that was a strategy. I'm just making up in my head. It's easier for me to imagine that DeCosta is gutted than he actually could have pulled off both Crosby and Hendrickson.
But you know what's funny about this? All he had to say was, we wanted Maxx Crosby to be a Raven, but based on the medicals, which I am not going to speak about because I am not privy to talk about someone's health and their medical records publicly, we did not feel comfortable moving forward.
Right.
We are devastated by this. This is the player that we wanted, but we, based on the information that was gathered by our medical professionals inside our building, could not move forward, so we pivoted to do what was best for our franchise. That's all you had to say.
I think we should give him a little bit of grace. The guy is currently working on a trade for Micah Parsons as we speak, I hear.
He's busy.
He's busy. He's a busy guy. So give him a break.
Coming up, why does The Undertaker, WWE Hall of Famer, give us an indication as to a team's future in the NFL? We'll explain next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive.